time next month, we'll be embarking on our most exciting trip to date, sailing on a half-world cruise from New Zealand all the way back to the UK. We're getting legally married on board and celebrating our honeymoon and my 30th birthday, and it's been 2 years in the making, planning it, thinking of all the details. So much has gone into this and we are beyond excited. If you're new around here, hi, my name's Brogan, and with my fiance Benji, we make travel, home and lifestyle vlogs, and would love it if you subscribe because this is probably the most exciting travel vlog series we have ever done. We're going to be covering everything and bringing you along for the whole journey. We are really excited about the vlogs we're going to be making, and we're going to be going into those details a little bit later. But for now, this video is a bit of a chat, an overview and an in-depth look into what the trip entails, what we've booked, our shore experiences, our plans, logistics, and I'm going to have timestamps and chapters along the bottom if you want to skip along to any part, but mostly just grab a cup of tea and listen to how we're going to actually go on a world cruise, because I can't even fathom it sometimes. I'm like, how is this real? So before we can even get on board, we are flying it to New Zealand. We're going via Dubai, so we'll be changing there after an 8-hour flight and then a 16-hour onward flight to Auckland. We're flying with Emirates, and I'm actually really looking forward to the flight. We're going to be doing a whole video about what that looks like, what we eat, how we manage the jet lag, and just taking you along for a travel day, because who doesn't love a travel day vlog? But that's going to be so exciting to both of us. I feel like the journey begins the minute we leave the house, so I actually love the idea of a long haul travel experience. I've never flown that far. The longest flight I've ever done is 11-12 hours most, so I've never been on a flight for that long. Once we get to Auckland, we're going to be spending a week there, and we chose to do this so that we could adjust to the time difference and enjoy the city. I've never been to New Zealand, so as much as I would love to explore the North and South Islands, this trip is not that. We would love to come back and do more of that in the future, but we're staying in Auckland. We are going to go out a little bit because we have booked a tour to do the Hobbiton set, and we're going to the glowworms caves, and mostly we just want to stay in Auckland, get some final things that we might need for the trip and experience the city. I think having that time before we get on board is going to be really nice to just soak it all up. Yeah, just be in Auckland. So if you have any tips or any recommendations for Auckland specifically, then please do leave them below, because that's where we'll be spending the most time. So let's talk about the cruise and the itinerary. This is actually a 99-day cruise that left last week, beginning of January, and returns middle of April, and we'll be doing so many different stops. But for us, just looking at what we're doing specifically, we are doing just over half, so we're doing 60 of the 100 days, if that makes sense. So I'm calling it half because, well, we don't do the first bit, so you can join at different segments. I think a lot of people are joining or leaving in Sydney because they have family there. This trip actually came about from planning our wedding and our honeymoon, and I'm going to do a part 2 to this where I'm going to do a wedding Q&A and talk more about the wedding day and why we decided to get married on board and what our wedding will look like, so keep an eye out for that. But this trip came about with that in mind. So we were planning the wedding, well, we were planning the honeymoon first, and we always wanted to do New Zealand and then do a bit of Australia. That was always the plan, but obviously this ended up being a bit of a bigger plan that we thought this was probably logistically better for us. We fly from London all the way over to Auckland, spending a week there, and then we do a little bit of New Zealand, then we go up the coast of Australia, and then we go over to Indonesia and we do Southeast Asia, spending some time in Hong Kong doing Disneyland, Singapore, we're going to Sri Lanka, up to Dubai, and then through the Suez Canal, where we'll be doing a few final stops in Europe. So we're going to be going to Seville in Spain and then finishing in Southampton. It is so exciting. There are so many stops. In fact, I think I counted 20 stops, 14 different countries. 4 of them have an overnight, so Sydney, Hong Kong, Singapore and Dubai we're all staying overnight in. A lot of the stops are going to be more like a taster or a flavour of that city or country, and I'm hoping that we can maximise our time. We've tried to plan things to the best of our ability, done a lot of research, but mostly we're just so excited to have the opportunity to do this. I know that it's not always feasible for everybody, and that we don't take it for granted that we're in a position that we can go and do such an incredible trip. We've never been back backpacking or traveling for an extended period of time. So this really is our first sort of dipping our toes into the world of what it's like to be away that long and experiencing that many different places in one trip, which is just beyond exciting to me. If you want to see what we get up to in all those different places, make sure you subscribe, because there are going to be cruise vlogs and I'm going to talk more about that in a bit. But I wrote down a few of the shore experiences we're going to be doing as well. So if you've ever done a cruise, you'll know that you can book some excursions, or P&O Cruises call them shore experiences, and they are an opportunity to pay and have a guided tour, or they take you on a bus. Some are half days, some are walking tours, some have a meal included. They're all very different. We've done things like a helicopter tour in Norway, or swimming with turtles in Barbados. So we've done some really epic things with them, but this time we were trying to plan out which stops we want to be on our own or plan it ourselves. Sydney, Singapore, Hong Kong, all of those, Dubai, we're doing on our own. So there are a few stops that we're just taking our own time or planning our own day or couple of days. Hong Kong, for example, we're doing Disneyland. I just didn't want to do anything else other than Disneyland. Not every location we've booked something, but we have booked quite a lot. So for example, we're doing things like the Great Barrier Reef, we're doing a thermal valley, a mud bath, a train ride, a koala sanctuary, and we're doing the Valley of the Kings in Egypt. So we've got quite a few things to look forward to, and lots of different exciting opportunities and experiences, things that we would never have normally done if we'd gone on a holiday somewhere. So I feel like we've really got a variety, and we've tried to think about what each day looks like and maximising our time there as well. When I talked to friends and family about it, I had a few questions about the ship itself. So as I said, P&O Cruises, the ship is Arcadia. She is an older ship, smaller than some of the others we've previously been on, can take just over 2,000 guests and around 850 crew. So I don't know if we'll be at full capacity. I know that, like I said, some people will be coming and going throughout the course of the 100 days like us, but there will be people that stay on for the whole thing. It's an adults only ship, so no children, which, although I love kids and I don't mind kids on cruises, for this trip in particular, I envision our sea days where we're swimming lengths of the pool and, you know, having cocktails at the bar, and I just prefer the idea of it being adults only. I think for me that was a real bonus and perk, but of course we have done cruises with kids before, but for this one, it's our wedding, it's our honeymoon, no kids, thank you. In terms of the cabin, we've actually picked a mini suite. We have stayed in a conservatory mini suite on board a different ship of P&O's, but this one is a little different. We have had the chance to see it, and the suites are beautiful, but the mini suite is smaller and just ticked so many boxes for us. And although it was more expensive than your sort of standard regular size balcony cabin, we knew that we wanted that extra space in terms of getting ready on our wedding day. It's our honeymoon, we're on board for so long, so we did end up choosing the mini suite in terms of the actual cabin. So as I mentioned, we are going to be vlogging, although we are treating it as like holiday and wedding as a priority first. Of course, we are going to be able to still work and still share things. I don't know if it's obvious, but I'll make it very clear now that we are not working with P&O Cruises for this particular trip. We have worked with them in the past, but we are not working with them. We are customers for this one. We're really excited to be able to share things with you, and I'm hoping that we'll be uploading as close to us in certain locations as possible. I want to get a few videos up while we're in Auckland, so like the flight and our week in Auckland. So there'll be a few videos before we get married, and then hopefully I can edit on sea days. We're gonna have quite a lot of downtime. I hope to upload some videos while we're at a port or we're on land, leave them uploading. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is going to be, how much time I'm going to have to edit, and what the time difference is going to be like, because when we get closer to Asia, we're going to be on such different time zones. So bear with me. Please don't expect a schedule or a certain day and time that videos will go up, but you will be seeing them as we go along, which is very exciting. Then I thought we'd talk about just a few things that we're looking forward to and maybe we're a little more apprehensive about. So we're really looking forward to Australia and New Zealand. Benji has done both, but for me, I've never been to to either country. I have wanted to for years. They've been on my bucket list forever, so this is very exciting for me. I'm really looking forward to obviously our wedding day, and loads of other stops like Singapore is on my bucket list, obviously doing Disney in Hong Kong. New experiences like the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, which we wouldn't normally do as a holiday. Like we wouldn't normally just fly there specifically to do that. So this has given us the opportunity to do things a little bit more out of our comfort zone, or we wouldn't normally do. I'm looking forward to lazy afternoons and sea days. Just the idea of like reading for hours or editing a video and just spending so much quality time with Benj is going to be so special. Mostly it's all those individual places that we get to see and experience. It's going to be incredible. But then the things that we're like a little more apprehensive about is leaving our dog Bonnie. Has been the hardest and worst part of it. We know that she's going to be in incredible hands with my mum. She's got a really close bond with my mum. She treats my mum's house as a second home, but I'm going to miss her desperately. She's my baby, and I know that's going to be a hard part of it. I worry about the time that we have in some places, that although some of them will be short or, you know, a flavour of those locations, I don't want to miss any sort of hidden gems or anything special. You know, we were so close to something and it was just out of reach. I'm not sure. I want to maximise our time, I think. So I really don't want to just rock up somewhere and aimlessly walk around. I want to make sure that we've got plans and we are doing really exciting things. So there's been a lot to think about for that, because each location I've had to break down, like what are we doing and where are we going. And then the only other thing I'm a little nervous about is the heat. Being in Australia in their summer in February and then being in Asia in March, I know it's going to be hot and I don't do very well in the heat, and neither does Benj. We're very pale and ginger, so I do worry that that's going to be pretty intense heat for us, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll have the aircon and fans and sun cream on. I thought I'd talk about some of the home logistics and cruise logistics that we are currently working on. So when it came to our house and all the things at home, I thought this would be fairly straightforward. Sorting out stuff in the house didn't seem like a big deal, but then when I came to breaking it down, I have had to do so many different things. So the first big one is that we've got a house sitter coming, a family friend, and they're actually coming this afternoon to just talk about a few things around the house and making space for them and just giving them a bit more of a tour, because by the time that we actually leave, it's going to be chaos. So we're really excited to have somebody coming and looking after our home. They're not looking after Bonnie, so Bonnie is still going to go to my mum's and the house sitter's going to look after the house, which is amazing. So we're having to do a lot of like decluttering, organising, deep cleaning, making sure it's a really great space for our house sitter. A big one was sorting out the home insurance, covering for the house sitter being in it and not us. We had to tell our home insurance about that. We've had to sort out lots of stuff for Bonnie, things like her wormer, her flea tablets, her food. We get a button-up box delivered, so we need to switch the address for her so it goes to my mum's. We've bought her a new dog tag collar, so it has my mum's details on it. We've had to think about like enough poo bags, enough treats, a card that my mum can use for any emergencies, changing the details at the vet so that my mum can authorise anything of any urgency for Bonnie. So there's been a few things for her just alone, but then also subscriptions for us, like our gym we had to pause for a few months, our HelloFresh, we don't want to cancel it, but we just want to pause it, so we have to change it on every single week for like 8 weeks. Things like my beauty subscriptions to Functional Beauty for my shampoo or my Dermatica skin treatment. So there's been loads of like little subscription things that I forget that I have. I have actually redirected our post so that it all goes to my mum's house, just so the house sitter doesn't have to deal constantly with the amount of parcels that I have. But the redirection is only for Royal Mail. It's not for all the delivery companies that come. So between them both, they'll be dealing with sort of random parcels I get. I've had to check the expiry of some of our cards, so working out logistically which banks we use, credit card, which bank and card my mum has, which cards are going to expire when we're away, so I've had to renew them earlier. Normally, obviously, when your card expires, you just get another one, so I've had to do that. And thinking about our budgets, which I'll go on to in a minute. Also thinking about gifts for birthdays we're going to miss, Mother's Day. My manager is having a baby, so I've been sorting out a newborn baby gift for her. and my mum's going to help support post things for me, so give her the parcels and tell her when to post them. But mostly, yeah, getting like Mother's Day and Benji's dad, it's his birthday when we're away, having all that sorted out. So I've ordered him birthday presents already, and I'm going to wrap them and sort them out. So my to-do list is like massive. And then things like car insurance and MOT, they expire while I'm away. In terms of the cruise logistics, the main one being our final budget. So up until this point, we budgeted for like the main cost, the flight, the shore experiences. We've been booking and paying for them as we've gone along. We booked and paid for Wi-Fi. So we've been saving and using our money we've saved for what would have essentially been the cost of a wedding day and a honeymoon, is how much this trip has been. So if you think about it that way, instead of having a big wedding day and a honeymoon, that's what we've spent instead. And so we've been thinking about how much now we're going to be spending on board and how much we want in terms of cash or currencies. We have 8 different currencies, and although a lot of places accept dollars, some of the smaller places we need their currency. I'm aware I can also probably get some currency on board, but you'll have to pay quite a high exchange rate. And then when we get to some places like Singapore, Dubai, I'm just going to use my card, but when we go to Sri Lanka and Indonesia, Malaysia, we are going to be going to quite small ports, and I can't guarantee that there's going to be loads of car machines, and we might just want to jump in a taxi and use cash instead. So to manage all that, I actually bought one of these sort of clear wallets, and I'm going to fill it with our currencies. So we got given some Australian dollars for Christmas from family, which was very sweet. And I have a few euros left over from a trip, and I also have some dollars left over, but I am going to fill this with all the different currencies. We also need to think about English pounds that we can tip our cabin steward or anyone that serves us in the main dining room, our photographer for our wedding day. So that's kind of the final big thing we're focusing on, is how much that is and what that looks like. We've also had to do quite a few visas. So we've just recently done New Zealand and Australia, Sri Lanka and Indonesia, and there are a few others that we can only do when we're on board. And then of course packing, like how does an overpacker who wants everything and the kitchen sink pack for a 2-month trip when I've got specific weight allowance and suitcases? But we are going to be sharing all of that with you. So coming up will be packing vlogs, part 1, 2 and 3. Part 1 is going to have the suitcase we send onto the ship before we leave. So we actually have already sent that case last week as you're watching this, and that's now gone onto the ship. So we're going to show you that in a whole video probably next week. Then there's going to be a long haul flight, what I'm packing in my hand luggage, and then there'll be everything else. So lots to show you and go through. And I know some of you are going to think I've got way too much, but that's all part of it, isn't it? Because I know what I need and want, and we've had to go through a lot of our clothes. So Benji and I tried on all of our sort of summer stuff yesterday and decluttered a lot of it and donated some to friends, family and charity. So we know exactly what we need and want and where we might want to pick up a couple of extra things in the sale right now. So yeah, packing is going okay. We have 6 suitcases because we're taking 3 each on the plane, which sounds absolutely wild, but that is where we're at. So I think I've covered all the main logistics of what to expect, where we're going, what we're doing, and I'd love to hear from you. So let me know if you've been to any of these places, if you've had any standout experiences, especially Auckland. Like I said, if you've got special recommendations or things that you think we should definitely do. And I can't believe it's so close now, guys. I can't believe I'm about to get married and we'll be on our honeymoon and, like I said, sharing it all. So keep an eye out for the wedding Q&A coming up next week. And like I said, if you're new, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss all the new videos we'll be doing. And I will see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.